Good morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, and I still got plenty to work on. Today, I'm going to be practicing the Sacramento Freelancers 2000 shopping spree, which is also called Free 007. Now, all of these practice streams, all 450 plus of them, have timestamps in the description to show what I was practicing or what I was talking about. Because I've been drumming for so long, and because I have a bachelor's, master's, and PhD in music education, I get a range of questions related to how to get better as a performer or how to get better as an educator, and I will often edit those answers and put them in this drumming tips playlist. There's over 100 videos and over 15 hours of free tips inside of here on a variety of topics. The first thing that I talk about is the title, and then if it says and other drumming tips, that means there are more tips inside of there. So for example, is slicing on tenor is a bad thing? If you already know an answer to that, then you might be interested in the other topics that are inside of this video. Just use the timestamps so you can check them out in case the title does not interest you. Now, in these practice streams, I'm sharing the raw, unfiltered how I'm practicing. So in order to get myself into the mindset to do that, I need to get motivated with Shia LaBeouf here. So Shia, help me out here. Do it. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Oh, wow. Everybody's so motivated now. Thanks to the great Shia LaBeouf. One more buff flex. I can't language for good luck. Good morning, Brian. Late today? No worries about it. No worries. I'm not always on time. Especially because, like, sometimes Streamlabs will crash or, like, things just don't work out the way that I want it to. Or it's, like, it won't let me adjust a setting. Or, like, it's not letting it go live on, like, one of the platforms. It's like, okay. Eventually it'll work. All right. If you're on my YouTube channel, on the home tab, you can find literally over 2,000 free play-alongs. But if you go to the link that's at the top of each one of the play-alongs, or the link that's at the top of this screen if you're on the vertical, jaredoleary.com/drum, it takes you to here. This is where you'll find currently 80 chop exercises. There's 29 shopping sprees. I'll be working on one of them today. There's over 1,000 grid variations in here. Focus on rudiment on one for these different variations. It gives you a nice challenge. And then if you want to get wacky, there's plenty of wacky ones in there. Limb independence, we were practicing that yesterday. I'll practice that some more tomorrow. That's the plan at least. And there's almost 500 marching bass drum stuff. Focus on the timing exercises here. Once you get those down, then you can work on the split stuff, but don't worry about those for the moment if you are newer. If you want a drumline cadence, there's several of them in score format. Just go here and it's got all of them as a preview because not all of them are currently public. It will be. Stay tuned. Almost 400 technique exercises. Just pick a playlist that looks interesting to work on your double beat, to work on your accent taps, your flams, your rolls, whatever you want. And then there's over 15 hours of drumming tips inside of here. These are all scripted lessons, and then down here is when I answer questions from people in the chat. Now, you will notice that there are some videos that are listed as members first. All of those videos are scheduled to release for free. There's over 400 of them, and there's going to be a bunch more sight reading ones coming out, hopefully by the end of this week, so stay tuned for that. So if you see a video like this one that says members first, they're scheduled to come out for free. So don't worry, it'll eventually come out. It just might be like over 400 days from now. So stay tuned. But if you are a member, thank you. I appreciate it. It's 99 cents. Just click the join button if you want to become a member to get that early access. Or just wait. Sacramento Freelancers, we're doing this one. It came out a few days ago. Woo! That is not the resolution that I would prefer to look at this at. I just got my eyes checked. I think I need to do it again. All right, so we're going to start at 40. We're going to warm up. I'm going to play through it a few times. And then we'll stretch and massage, and then I'll start jumping up probably by like threes or so. In the timestamps, you can find the BPM in the description for whatever BPM you want. So if you already know this shopping spree, you can go all the way as fast as 200 if you want and practice listening in while doing it. I'm new to this one, so we're just going to start right at 40. Here we go. Stay nice, relax on these accents. Oops. I almost started playing a flam 5 and I was like, wait, it's not a flam 5, it's just a cheese. Yeah, we survived. Whew. So fast, so furious. We'll go by 1. Play this again like 5 times. Stretch and massage. I'm gonna go ahead and avoid the rim shots. You can play them if you want. Ah. Too relaxed. Even on that rim shot, make sure that's still an upstroke that starts up and ends up when playing that rim shot at the end. Your right hand's just doing that the whole time. Just staying up. Obviously rhythm change, but you know what I mean. Just trying to demonstrate the motion. Cool. 2 more reps, then stretch and massage. last rep for the moment. So slow. Could have got a water break in that time. Oops. I started playing the measure above. That's funny. The book report into the slurred putty. Started doing that. Whoops. Okay. First stretch I'm going to do. Stretches the sides of the forearms. Take your sticks. Hold them in your palms. Palms facing up. Pull in, push through. Ah, ah, ah. Feels good. To go out of the stretch, go out the way that you came. If you do traditional, you can rotate and hold to one end of the extreme. You can rotate and hold the other end of the extreme. Same thing if you do four mounts. You can do that if you do Stevens for the rotary motions. But because I don't do those anymore, I'm not going to worry about that. Now I'm going to stretch my forearm. You could do it like this. You could do it on your pad. You could do it on the wall. The lower you go, ooh, the deeper the stretch. Let's do that. It feels great. Don't put all your weight into it. It won't feel good. You might injure yourself. So don't do that. Oh, that feels great. Okay, so now I'm going to stretch the top side of the forearm. So you could pull back like this. You could do it like I did yesterday on the stream where I was doing it on my legs. You could do it on your pad. You could do it on a large mammal. You could also do it on the wall. The higher you go, the deeper the stretch. Again, don't put all your weight into it. You're trying to stretch the top side of the forearm. You're not trying to break your arms off. And now I'm going to stretch thumb to thumb. Just goes twice as fast. And this is the final stretch. And then I'm going to do a quick massage routine, and then we'll get back into playing the shopping spree. It's a fun spree. It's got some inspiration, I think, from like the 1999 Blue Devils shopping spree. Like the book report into the slurred putida in particular. On the second to last line. Gives me 1999 vibes. Man, I'm combining my words. But, you know, that makes sense since this came out in 2000. I get it. 1999 spree was a very popular spree for its time. One that many of my friends knew. Cool. Now it's massage. So I'm going to do thumb on top, fingers underneath. Just working my way up and down the forearm. And switch. My forearms feel all right today. Yay. Massage the palm with the thumb, and then the fingers massage the back side of the hand. And then I got one more to do. So the last one is massaging from base to tip of each one of the fingers. So what you do is you massage from here to here. Each one of them, just kind of work your way up at least twice for each one of the fingers. I've got a little wound on my ring fingers. I'm going to be careful with that. we'll play through this again. Okay, so now I'll start going up by, I don't know, like 3s or so. But before I do that, let's do a quick walkthrough of it. Okay. Woo! So let's talk about how this spree is structured. So the check is just flam accents, so cha-da-da, 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 cha-da-da. Okay, so nothing crazy about the checks. Some of them are weird, like, what was it, the last spree that I played? Did like a paradiddle with a check? Maybe it was the one before that, I don't remember. There's too many of them. Okay, so this one starts off with float flam drag. So float flam drag is like a normal flam drag, but instead of doing a 3-note grouping that you normally see in a shopping spree, it does it as a 5-note grouping, so it makes it a float drag, and you put the extra diddle on the 4th note. Okay, so you're doing that, but it starts with a single diddle on the right, with a tap, and then it goes into it. Then you go back into check. Cha-da-da, 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 cha-da-da. Okay, so now what's happening is we have a lot of notes on the left hand, actually. Okay, so we're doing flam, low cheese, high cheese, and then a low cheese, followed by a high cheese onto the left hand. Okay, so right, 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 left, left, into check. Then we have flam 5, and I always forget if these are patty flufflos or foo bars. I don't remember. But either way, you just play a single left hand into another flam 5 again. So, and then we go into single left hand cheese. Cha-da-da, cha-da-da-da-da. Okay, into check again. Now, right here, we have this, like, interesting, it's like, instead of a Swiss drag, it's like a Swiss 5. So we have cha-da-da-da-da-da, cha-da-da-da-da. Okay? So it's like it's starting off with, basically right here is a book report with his left hand. So, but it starts off with, like, the Swiss right here. So I don't know if they consider it to be just like a permutated book report or what, but it basically is like a Swiss 5, which is also turns into a book report starting right here off the left. Okay, so this reminds me a lot of the Blue Devils 99 shopping spree where it has the slurred patata that goes on in that particular one. So we've got it right here at the end of it. So, okay. So, da-da-da-pa-da-da, invert, flam accent, flam tap, and then 3 lefts in a row. Think of it like a decrescendo. And then right here, our left hand just stays up for a couple of counts. Okay, so we have the herta with the left hand accent, and then a paradiddle stop. Again, left hand is accent the entire time. Okay, so your left hand is just playing that the entire time. Yep. So that's what's going on for those 2 counts. Then we have right here a little flam drag, followed by a low flam drag. So we have cha-da-da-da, cha-da-da tap, another low flam drag. This goes right into another book report. So, okay. So book report right here, starting off the right hand. But this time we're not playing it into a slurred patata like we were right here. So cha-da-da, flam tap, and then you're doing 1 full count of a decrescendo, 1 full count of a crescendo off the right. So we're having 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then cha-cha, invert, cha-cha-cha, shot, 1E and a 2E and a Or you can think of it as pick up, triple a or 1E and a 2E and a however you want to think of that particular ending. Cool? Interesting spree. I like it. All right, so let's play through it. Now with that, we talked about it. Whee! So now let's start going up a couple of clicks. 48. 1, 2, here we go. Dancing helps. Helps to play cleaner. True story. Studied from the book Stick Control. So that one was by George Lawrence Stone. And these are more like hybrid rudiments, so like modern rudiments rather than a lot of sticking. But that's probably the book that most people recommend starting off. And then the next like iteration of it would be Accents and Rebounds by Morello, which was like inspired by Stone, but has much more dynamic control in it. So rather than just playing sticking patterns, you're also playing sticking patterns with like different accents and whatnot. So some classics. Stone's book has been around since almost 100 years, I think. I think it was like in the 30s when it came out. Accents, Rebounds, yeah. If you like Stone's book, Morello's book is good. But, you know, there's so many books to do right now. But if you're looking for, like, similar stuff, I've got some stick control variations on the home. Sorry, it's hard to talk. On the home tab of my channel. So if you go to the home tab, scroll down, just like click on my name, boop. And then in the home section, if you go here, this is where I'm practicing is the chop stuff. So we're just like going up a couple clicks at a time with some of these shopping sprees. But there's over 1,000 grid variations. There's a ton of stuff to work on limb independence. So if you like working on limb independence, all of these playlists link to the second video, which talks about how to develop limb independence. Is something I was working on yesterday's practice stream, and I'll work on tomorrow over there. Morello is a jazz drummer who played Take 5, right? I don't remember who Morello played with, but Morello is just an OG drummer who's, you know, inspired a lot of really good drummers out there. So, yeah, I don't remember. There's some marching bass drum stuff if you do that. There's some drumline cadences. But here's the thing that I was talking about in terms of if you go to the technique and you click on the header here, there's some stick control variations in here. And there's actually some really interesting ones that have some filler. So rather than playing just sticking variations, it also fills in the different rhythms in here. So for example, if we go to my favorite version, which is the advanced stick control with filler. So this one, you're playing the same patterns that you'd have in like stick control of the book. So you'd have like a check pattern leading into like a sticking pattern. So, but then you're playing the exact same thing, but you're filling in rhythmically speaking when you're doing multiple hands in a row. So you're playing, instead of playing like this, okay, so you're playing the same measures right here. You're just filling in some notes. And then you do a triplet version of it. And then you do this variation off the left, etc. And then there's a second page to this. And you can actually find, again, with all these thousands of free play-alongs, the timestamps. So if you want to practice this with your feet, you can go slow. Or you can play with your hands slow. Or you can play it up to 160 for this one. If you could play it at like 160 with your feet, I want to see that. That's fast. But yeah, so there's a ton of technique exercises. If you're interested in like this stuff that like Stone and Morello and whatnot talk about, you can find a bunch of more modern versions of exercises to work on things in here. And then there's over 15 hours of tips on like how to practice. Buster Bailey Wrist Twister book. I actually don't know that one. That's interesting. There's so many books. I've got behind the monitor like a bookshelf that's just full of it. I think I have. Oh yeah. So the one where I talk about how to improve sight reading gives you a little preview of some of the method books that I have. Where is it at? Too many. Let me just search. Sight. Yeah, so number 79, Drumming Tip 79. So at the start of this one, these are some of the method books that I have. There's more. So I've read through a lot of them, and like would sight read through them or would like grind them out and whatnot. But like there's a classic one, Ted Reed's Syncopation. That's a great one. That inspired the one that Don Moyo created for 50 Ways of Syncopation, which is the one that I was working out of yesterday and just graduated from. We got through all 50 of his variations for working on limb independence. Good book. Highly recommend it. And actually, if you go to like any of these play-alongs, if you go into the timestamp, there is actually in the description the second link that has some more books that I recommend. So a lot of these are affiliate links, by the way. So I get like 4% back from Amazon, but it's like no extra cost to you. So these are some of the drum kit books. So, no, that's wrong, right? That's Morello. Wait, Stone did that? No. Which one did Morello do? Oh, yeah, he did Master Studies. Sorry, I totally misspoke. So Accents and Rebounds is like the sequel to Stick Control, and it's also by George Lawrence Stone. But Master Studies is by Morello, and that's kind of like the next iteration of the Accents Rebounds. Man, my memory is apparently flawed today. Another really good one if you're into jazz stuff is Chapin's book. This is the one that I actually started off with for jazz. For whatever reason, like I just could not figure out like Ted Reed's like syncopation while doing limb independence stuff. So I had to like get used to just the swung patterns with Chapin's book. It gets fairly complicated at the end, but it's fun to play through. And then this is the one that I was working on yesterday was Don Moyo's book, 50 Ways of Syncopation. But all these are good in different ways. Man, I can't believe that I completely whiffed that. So again, Master Studies is Morello, and then Accents to Rebound is like the sequel to Stick Control by Stone, which you can also find there. But anyways, now that we've corrected that, let's play some more. Okay, so we were just playing this at 51, so let's go up like 3 clicks or so. So we'll go up to 708. Well, that's more than 3. That's fine. That's fine. Point is to go through it slow. It's written for concert percussion with ornaments and dynamics. That's cool. I really like, for like concert snare drum, surrounds, portraits, and rebounds is really good. The study guide actually has like notes by Cerrone, like on how to play the different pieces, which is really cool. Helps with practicing. But De La Cluse is also great. Sweet. De La Cluse is king. Yeah, I think I've got 4 of his books. I got Kais Clarion, a 1 and 2, those are etudes, and I swear I have one more. I forget. It's been a while since I played through those. But they're cool. They're good. Yeah, Kais Clarion was fun. Very melodic. Very different than Cerrone's writing style. He was much more rhythmic and metric with his writing, whereas De La Cluse was much more like it was like you could sing it. Oops. What did I mess up there? Yeah, what did I do there? So... Yeah, it's just like a weird sticking there. I don't know what I screwed up, though. Either way, I made a mistake. Unsubscribe. Yeah, I get it. I understand. All right, so that was a 57. Let's go to 60. You auditioned for your Masters of Music with one of them? How many people playing it? Most are still in the Doze Etudes. Yeah, so I agree. But I had a professor who really liked to challenge me. The late great Mark Sunkett, Dr. Mark Sunkett. He was a beast of concert percussion and whatnot. He had me like show up to a concert percussion lesson, and he's like, all right, play me a buzz roll. And I play like a roll for him, and he just starts laughing. He like a belly laugh. We spent like the next month just like refining the buzz rolls and whatnot. It sounds so much better than it did, but it was funny. He meant it in like a jovial way, not like a mocking way. I did have a different like graduate TA who was more in the mocking way, and that guy, I hope he gets help. He'd show up at like a 7 a.m. lesson, and he is drunk. Which, you know, is not good. Don't do that. There we go. So this kind of reminds me of Blue Devils, what was it, 2000 spree? I wonder if they like heard it and like added that in there. Yeah, because like, here we go. So the Blue Devils have that as well, and they have like the upbeat Herta and whatnot. And then the year before, in the 1999 spree, let's go to that one. So this has the book report into the Putida phrase that we've got. So I wonder how much of like this Sacramento spree was like inspired by both of these, because like clearly this inspired, like this is the first time I've heard the book report into the slurred Putida was in the 99 shopping spree. Maybe somebody played it before that, but like this is the first time I've heard that. And then it just so happens the very next year, the Freelancers include that in theirs. I think there's some inspiration going on. We just played at 60. Cool. Let's go up faster. Normally what I would recommend if you're actually like trying to like really refine your technique, just go one click at a time. But this is basically just like a preview for each one of these, because there's like, I don't know, 20 some odd sprees that came out in the last month. Just going through each of one of them quick. Thank you for the sub. Oh no! I left off a flam. We're supposed to leave no flams behind. No. So if you want like more of these play-alongs, there's over 2,000 of them. So just go to the home tab. They're organized into different sections. So this is in the chop section, all these chopping sprees. But spend more time on the technique stuff. That's why there's many more of them. There's like 80 chop exercises and like almost 400 technique. And over 1,000 grid variations. No! Now you're gonna unsubscribe. Jared made a mistake. Yeah, this measure, it just gets me. So it's like upbeat flam drag, accent on third partial, which leads into a book report. And you do 2 of those on the third partial. Cha-da-da-da, cha-da-da-da, cha-da-da-da-da, cha-da-da-da. Okay. Now I'll forget that while sight reading through it. Because that's how my brain works today. Here we go. Cool. What speed was that? 69. All right, so let's go up to 8 bajillion. Whoop. I can math. What do we have? 75 now, I think. So if the BPM on like any of these from 40 to 200, if it ends with a 0 or a 5, it gives you a few seconds to get set up. That's especially helpful if you're playing like any of the drum kit stuff. Otherwise, it just immediately taps off. How often do I stream? Usually every day. Around this time each morning, and then I do a gaming stream for about 2 hours. No. I keep screwing that up. What does my shirt say? It says non-binary and binary. I think it's funny. So I made it. In addition to teaching like music education, I taught computer science education. Drumline vibes are sloppy. No! Don't play those as flams. So what am I doing wrong? Yeah, so that, like, for whatever reason, I want to put this accent on the right hand right here. And I don't know why. Like, I'm trying to turn it into Swiss drag or something. Like that. Maybe there's a different spree that had that. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, always down to talk about percussion stuff. That's what I'm here for. Even when I'm doing gaming stuff, I'll talk drums anytime. That was what, 78? Yes. Boop. I think I went up by 4. Oh no. We're breaking the rules. That'll be the last time I play all of those as flams. I just, I thought it'd be funny. But when this gets faster, that's not going to happen. That was what, 82? So let's go to 85. Ew. No. I gotta do that again. Too many mistakes. This is a fun spree. I finally graduated. Now we can go up by 3 or so. 89. No! And I left off a grace note. I feel so sleepy. It's affecting my reading, apparently. faster. We're almost at triple digits. No way. You can do it. Do it. Sorry, the mouse moved. It's covering up the bottom part. Had to move it. With the ending. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. It tells YouTube you want more play longs. Over 2,000 more on my home tab. No! Keep doing that. I need a water break. I'm parched. It's actually the name of the intro song and the closing song, at least the half of it that you hear on these streams that I compose and synthesize. It's called Parched. It's inspired by a piece by a composer with the last name of Parch, and then combined some ideas with like Smad Beck's rhythm song, and that's where you get the intro and outro music. That was 96. Cool. 99 it is. We're now in the triple digits. Wow, faster than anyone's ever played in their life. 99 was what we thought was humanly possible, but I am going to defy all odds. Well, that wasn't 3, but you know, that's fine. Stop it! Stop it! That's right clicking. Sometimes like accents will just like trigger my mouse to like right click and whatnot, and you can't always see it. When I used to teach, could you tell if a student had been practicing, even if they messed up? Oh, yeah. Like, mistakes are, mistakes. Like, they happen. I mean, I've made, like, what, 754, I think, so far, just today? So, yeah. But I also was, like, super, aware of like the playing. Like I went all in with focus, like, and I kept like notes on like how the quality of the playing was. Eventually I like put that into a Google Doc, so like that way each student had their own Google Doc and I could just like share it with them, and so they could keep track of like what were we working on, what were the things we talked about, how are you playing, what are you going to work on for next time, do you owe any money, kind of a thing. Like I had a student one time who had like several $100s because they're just like, all right, I mean, we'll just keep adding on to the tab. I wouldn't recommend doing that. They paid eventually, but you know, it was quite the tab after months of not getting paid. But yeah, I mean, I think newer instructors might not be able to tell that. Like they'll just assume a mistake is like, oh, well, you didn't like practice, and it's like, I mean, no, you can still make mistakes. Like we can talk about, well, what was the source of that mistake? Was it just like you're tired, or was it like you are unprepared, or what? Like there's many causes of mistakes, and I've made a bajillion of them so far on today's stream. But yeah, if you're like going to a private lesson instructor and like you feel like you're not coming prepared, but you are practicing, like it's likely more of a mental thing for you than it is for the instructor. Like you might be thinking about it more than they are. But yeah, I mean, I've had times where like I was not prepared because I was practicing, but I wasn't practicing what the instructor asked me to practice for. So like I went to a drum corps audition camp, and I was practicing for that, but I show up on like the following marimba lesson and was like, hey, I practiced a bunch, but it was not marimba. And the professor actually walked out on me. It was like, you're on scholarship, don't waste my time. And I was like, fair. But also, I don't care about marimba. Let's be honest here. I'm not here to play marimba. Even though my scholarship wants me to, I don't care about it. But yeah, it happens. Left hand was a little late on that. The singles at the end. That first left. It's like an exaggerated version of how it sounded in my brain. Where? Always more to work on. I guess one thing I'll also say, Roy, is that, like, I understood that, like, not everybody was going to practice as much as I did. Screwed up that last part. Yeah, so what I was going to say is, like, if a student came unprepared to lessons and, like, they just, like, I don't know, had something happen in life where they just didn't get to practice that previous week or whatever, like, that happens to everybody. That happened to me. That happens to everybody I know. But if it was like you keep showing up every single week and we keep talking about the same things and you're not spending the time outside of, like, these lessons practicing, then maybe we got to have a talk of, like, hey, do you want to continue to do these lessons? Because, like, I'm getting paid to basically say the same thing over and over, and you're not, like, putting in the work outside of it. And I know I'm not cheap. So, like, if you want to keep doing that, I mean, we can. Like... Sure, keep showing up if you'd like to, but whenever the student is like just having an off week, like that happens. That's normal. Sometimes you just can't get to practice because of whatever, whether it's like you had a death in the family, or like you were super busy with work or school, or you were depressed or whatever. Like there's so many reasons to like not practice, and it's just like normal. Very normal. But again, if you do practice and, like, you make mistakes in front of the instructor should know that, like, okay, you're still making progress. Mistakes happen. It's not like because you practice, all of a sudden it's going to be, like, a flawless run-through of, like, everything that you're working on. Like, mistakes are still going to happen. Like, that's part of the joys of why I still like playing, is because, like, almost 30 years into it now, like, there's still plenty for me to work on. Still much to practice. I like that. The burnout video helps a lot. Taking breaks, etc. Lessons focus on weaknesses, which is good. Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that video helps. That's like the whole point of like creating all this content. Certainly not to make money. Maybe one day I'll make a teacher salary again. What speed are we at? Certainly not today. But yeah, like the point is to just have these opportunities to just have like real conversations about like practicing and like getting better as a performer, as an educator, whatever. There's ups and downs. That's hilarious. I was like, make sure you don't remove one of the flams, because for whatever reason, my brain just wants to get rid of one of these, and instead I added one. Swung the other direction with that pendulum. Don't do that, Jared. Okay. 118, I think. If you were to slow those singles down that I just played, you would hear just how terrible those sounded. They were swung. That was what I was trying to do. Yeah. What? That was 118, I think. I started to play a different spree. It's weird. I wonder which one it was. Those singles were a little bit better. Still not great. You know, I'm old. That's my excuse. All washed up. Here we go. Cool. Let's get to the breaking point. What speed was that? Man, goldfish. 124? Okay. Let's try going up a few. I want to get to the point where, like, I just can't do it anymore. It's going to be a reading issue rather than a hand issue. And then I want to chop out with Blue Devils 99. This is just make me want to play that spree, and I haven't done it in, like, a month. I keep wanting to play something. I don't know what spree it is. Yeah, I don't know what my brain wants to play there. Oh, it is Blue Devils 99. That's what I want to play. That's funny. Brain. That was 130? I think. 35. Thank you for the react. Random dance break. That's how I get all the subs. 11,700 people liked my dancing. Had nothing to do with drumming. Ew. Let's try that again. No, my brain today is just like, can't compute. It's a fun spree. I like it. I just can't read it that fast. So the ending is what's really messing me up. And I keep wanting to play the 99 shopping spree. So let's just go ahead and do it. So on the chop section, there's the shopping spree playlist. Boop. Let's go to Blue Devils 1999. We've got a ton of Blue Devil sprees in here, but this is the one that my brain keeps trying to play. See, I keep trying to play an invert right here after those float flam drags into left-hand flam accents. Let's start off where we just left off, 140. And I'll go up by 10s. Let's see if I start playing the other spree now. That'd be funny. Ugh. Bad ending. Cool. Faster. Why can't I play singles today? Hands? Left hand's a little slow. Ew. Okay, this will probably be my breaking point this morning. I don't think we're going to 170 today, so, you know. One of those days. It's a 160 kind of day. And go. Try that again. I played the tag. I haven't written that out formally, but if you want to learn it, what you do is you just take your sticks and you just kind of wiggle them around a bit. It's weird, but, you know, it was Blue Devils. They're innovating. If you want to play along with this, play along, or thousands more, go to the Home tab. Beep, beep, beep. Under the chop stuff, this is where you'll find the 80 chop exercises. There's more playlists over here. Whoop. Like Flamus is in that one. There's also over 1,000 grid variations. So many you have to click the header on here to show all of the playlists for all the grid variations. There's Limb Independence. I should be doing that tomorrow. I feel like I have really bad allergies. I'm hoping that's all it is. So if I'm not on tomorrow, then apparently it was a cold. But I should be practicing Limb Independence tomorrow. There's almost 500 marching bass stuff. I'd recommend focusing on the timing exercises. And then once you get these down, there's a bunch of them, like over 150 of them. Then you can work on like the splits and stuff. But there's a bunch of splits and whatnot. There's some drumline cadences in score format. There's computer science stuff because I'm a nerd. There's almost 400 technique exercises. Click on the header, just like with the grid ones, so you can see all of the playlist. So you can work on your 3s and 4 strokes, building up your rudiments, working on your flams, working on your fulcrum, whatever you want to do. And then there's over 15 hours of drumming tips in here. Like the one that Roy was talking about with the burnout, that was drumming tip number 7,084,000,084. Yeah, so this one, 105. So what to do when you have no motivation to drum and how to prevent burnout from practicing. So that one talks about those particular topics. But, you know, there's over 15 hours of tips just in this playlist alone. So enjoy if you're interested in that. If you like this content, just share it with somebody else. If you notice a video that says members first, there's over 400 of those. They're all scheduled to release for free. So I don't sell a course. I don't sell a book. I don't sell an app. I don't teach privately anymore. I'm not trying to make money at your expense on this educational content. It's all AdSense supported. That's the goal. So this membership stuff is optional. They will all come out, but it might be like 400 days from now. So just wait. It'll come out. But thank you for the people who've signed up for membership. It's 99 cents. So if you want to do that, then you just click on any one of my videos. There's a join button underneath, and then it shows is 99 cents, and you get early access to over 400 videos. I'm going to actually try and get it to about 500 by the end of this month. I'm working on a ton of sight reading stuff, so stay tuned for that. I'm hoping to have like the first big batch of that coming out by the end of this week or next. So stay tuned, but I'm going to call it here. No gaming stream today. As long as I'm feeling okay, I should be on tomorrow, and fingers crossed, Silksong actually comes out tomorrow. You can't pre-order it right now. So should resume some gaming streams tomorrow. That's the plan at least, but I'm rambling. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and thanks again for stopping in, and goodbye.